tuning into Rich Girl Network TV. I'm your host, Jim Blanton, and today I am at TV1 CLEO TV show lineup and NAACP Image Award announcements. I'm going to be bringing you a lot of interviews from our stars, and you'll also get a behind-the-scenes look at the press junket panel. Stay tuned, and as always, we'll bring you lots of entertainment news and more Rich Girl Network TV.
What are you doing?
Looking for gigs on Craigslist.
You look like your picture. That's a good thing. The last guy, not so much.
Listen, I know that you have me moving here to help you with the rent, and I'm gonna do that. I promise you I'm gonna do that. What is going on?
Landlord, you been blowing me up about rent.
You didn't pay that man on rent.
Did you give me your half?
Hey, Dad. It's that day.
Your dad's not talking to his only son because you decided to be a dancer instead of an engineer?
She told you about that?
She just doesn't really think that you're into girls.
Who's this guy?
His name is Lawrence. You wanna come inside?
Sure.
I knew within the first 5 minutes of talking to him that I could love him.
So you make good money doing this?
You go in the room with the missus. I stay out here and drink vodka. When you're done, I pay you.
You don't want to get into business, cuz. I do. Put me on. Do somebody follow us?
Why would anybody want to follow us?
Johnny, they gonna fire your ass if you call us sick another day. You've been to work all week.
I'm a manic depressive Candace. You know that it's an illness. It's an excuse. If it is true.
It's not true.
Don't play with me. I said back pockets, bro.
Good one day. Tomorrow you can stay in bed all day, cry, do whatever it is you do when you're depressed. But after that, you might have to pick up the pieces. And we gotta figure out how to make our dreams come true. Deal?
Deal.
We are forever young.
I first want to talk about the stigma not only within our community, just communities of color in general regarding mental health issues. And we have research published late last year that showed that on the African continent you have alarming rates of depression and even suicide in countries such as Ethiopia and Nigeria. So it's not only affecting us here in the US but abroad. How have you, I guess, using scientific literature and consultations with medical professionals, how have you incorporated the actual science and clinical aspect of it into the show? Because I've seen just exactly how it's represented and the symptoms are very real. And will you then give it the and so what answer to this is how you pull yourself out of it and build your support community to ultimately get better?
Yeah, I am actually clinically depressed and have been since I was 16, so a lot of the research comes from my personal life. I'm also first generation American. My family is from the continent. There's Seychelles. I was the first one born in the U.S. And much of my experience and experiences of other young women of color we incorporated into Giants. And James has been one of my best friends almost my entire life, and we pulled a lot in the writers' room. We pulled a lot from what it was like growing up before there was a lot of conversation about mental health, period, but also about Black mental health. And then we made a very conscious decision amongst the writers, all of us here in the writers' room as well, that we wanted to show Journey begin to go through therapy and destigmatize therapy the same way. And that's what we did in season 2, which will also be airing. But we made a very conscious decision to tackle this as head-on as we could. We touched on a lot of things. I went to a lot of dark places. We discussed some of my best and some of my worst times, and we just felt it important that we lay all of that bare for the show.
Hi, Drew Jones with Black Hollywood Live. My question is for James. Being a creator and executive producer, how does that kind of go into how you play your character? Like, how has that changed how you are as an actor?
So for me, it was really learning how to balance, the two. Being behind the camera and being in front of the camera, oftentimes it's hard to turn it off because I'm always thinking as a producer, also being the showrunner of the show, And so for me, in particular, going into season 2 of Giants, it was building the team and bringing on folks like J. August Richards, who's a writer, producer and director on the show, and being able to be at a place where I could trust, my team and the folks around me, so I can really focus on giving the best performance.
And then for all three of you, what would you like viewers to take away from your show as a whole?
That's a good one. I think one thing that people will take away from the show is I think they'll really get a chance to see themselves in a way that they may not be able to in mainstream media. We take 3 very real ideas that people in this age group are dealing with who are on the cusp of turning 30. And Malachi's character, I feel like really speaks to a lot of young men that I see here in LA who maybe have lost their purpose and are having a hard time finding direction in this world that is very, ideologically divided and just loud and difficult to find your voice in. So I hope that people will see themselves in this show and get inspired to take action to tackle their own personal giant.
I remember one time in the writer's room, Jay, who is extraordinarily brilliant, said, when I look at these characters, the 3 of these characters, I see the Tin Man, I see the Scarecrow, and I see the Cowardly Lion. One doesn't have a brain, one doesn't have a heart, and one doesn't have any courage. And I felt like that was such a simplistic way to really just get to the bottom of what a lot of the millennial issue is some of us have these great ideas and all of this hubris. We don't have a brain. Go get a job. What are you doing? Yes, you're brilliant. You can be a fashion designer. You also need to eat. Those are a lot of the things that we explored. And I think one of the greatest things about season 2 was having Jay come in with even challenge us sometimes in the writing room and just say, okay, but why doesn't he get a job?
Yeah.
And we were like,
that was my first one.
yeah. And so we were really challenged, and we were challenged because we're also millennials. We were challenged, and I think really just putting some words to the millennial experience and saying, I know we're all thinking this thing, but it's also kind of time to grow up. Is one of the things that I hope that we kind of leave audiences with.
Right. And if I had to sum it up, I'll actually take a line from the show. In our season finale, when Journey's in a therapy session, her therapist says to her, some giants you slay and others you tame, and you learn to live with them. And so the whole concept of the show is discovering and really tackling whatever your inner giant is, but also recognizing that, for example, mental illness, it may not be a thing that you're able to completely eradicate, from your life, but you have to learn how to manage it so it doesn't cripple you.
Hi, everyone on the panel. I would like to ask a question in regards to how you guys are stretching from a 30-minute block on the web series to an hour long. I know you still have commercials and things like that, but what are you able to do more with a program that's an hour long?
So the program is going to continue to be 30 minutes. So season 1 and season 2 will run on CLEO, and we're going to run as a block, sort of like a marathon. And so it'll be season 1 will run, and then a few months later, season 2 will run. And so we'll stretch in terms of that hour block. It'll just be multiple episodes within the block.
And with that, we're just about out of time. Giants premieres on CLEO TV on April 2nd.
Could I just take this opportunity to say we are so incredibly excited about joining CLEO TV. You have no idea. As you know, yes, we're really appreciative that a whole nother audience is going to get a chance to fall in love with these characters the way that they did on Issa Rae's YouTube channel. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone at TV1 for having us. We're greatly appreciative.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, everyone.